This is the new Chevy Colorado, and this is the newest addition to the quickly heating up mid-size truck segment. Last year we got the new Frontier, we've got this Colorado now, and now we're gonna have the Ranger and the Tacoma following suit. This, I think, sets the new benchmark, but not everything is perfect, so we're gonna hit the highlights, both good and bad. Welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt. I'm fortunate enough to be here in sunny San Diego, California for the last 2 days driving this new Chevy Colorado. And before we talk about the best and the rest, I wanted to quick shout out our outfitters Blenders and Melin. 20% off your sunglasses and hats down in the description below. Make sure you use the code. I also want to take a minute to shout out Pedal Commander. If you want a little bit more performance out of your truck, I'm sure they've got something to spice up this Colorado. But now let's start with the highlights. We're gonna start with the bad. Number one is engine options. You get 3 different outputs, but it's the same engine. It's the same 2.7 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. No more V6, no more diesel. And all the way boosted up in the max output with this engine, it's a nice 2.7, but all the way maxed out, this is 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. It's great power, but then I start to think about really high compression. You're getting a lot of power from small displacement, and that mixed in with a ZR2 application, rocking around on trails, you're taking impacts. You start to think about things like reliability and durability long-term with things like that. And number two, this is the trailboss, and it looks pretty good from the outside. It's the full off-road spec, but once you get onto the interior here, you can tell that it is just kind of a utilitarian thing, which means a fairly cheap and inexpensive interior, which means you get things like a scratchy black dash that's made of plastic, cloth seats, you don't have a center armrest in your rear seats, you don't have LED running lights. So if you want to have an off-road ready Colorado with a nice interior, you're going to want to go to the Z71. Number 3 is no rock rails as standard. I believe they'll probably come on the ZR2, but for the Trailboss, the Z71, they don't come as standard. You get the 2-inch lift here on your Trailboss, but it might be nice to have one of those 2 trims come with some rock sliders on the side if you're going to be doing some real trail running. Now, of course, you can go and get an accessory from the dealer, so it's not a total loss, but I just thought I might have seen it come standard. And then number 4, we've got the rear seats. Now, this being a mid-sized truck, I don't expect to have a lot of room back here, but I actually can fit pretty okay back here. It's not like it's super nice though. You do have climate vents and you have cup holders, but you don't have any chargers back here. You don't have any map pockets on either of the front seats, and you don't even have a center cup holder that would come out of the armrest there. So there's just a few things missing that I might expect to see, but you do have a window, and you will get a lot of these features in the Z71 and probably the LT as well. Okay, and then 5th and finally is the dash. This being the Trailboss and also the work truck, you get that for your dash. And I know that it's intended for being durable and rugged, and this is the off-road oriented one, but I've been off-roading a few times and I've never thought, man, I really wish I didn't have this leather or canvas or stitched dashboard. So I would like to see that be a little bit nicer. Your steering wheel is kind of like a mixture of like plastic and rubber. Again, it's for durability, I get it, it's easy to wipe down, but it just takes what's otherwise a very, very nice interior and just kind of makes it feel pretty cheap. But then we start to talk about some of the stuff that I really, really like about this truck. Number 1 being the screens. Down in your dash, you have an 8-inch digital gauge cluster. This is segment leading. Nobody else is doing this. And then right next to it, you have a huge 11.3-inch infotainment system. It's fast, the graphics are crisp and the colors are bright, it's super responsive, and the nice thing is you get both of these screens on any trim of the Colorado that you want. You can get it on the work truck, the LT, anything that you want. So that's really, really cool to have and something you're not getting anywhere else. And since the screens are so big and the responsive rate is so good, they've been able to move some of the features into the screen, like controlling your headlights. The next thing I like is the look of the truck overall. These mid-sized trucks are getting more aggressive, more muscular, and just better looking overall. You've got aggressive cuts and grooves on your hood. You've got an aggressive front fascia. You've got unique wheels for all your trims. Your track is wider, at least on the ZR2 and the Trailboss that we're in here. This Trailboss gets a 2-inch lift from the factory. The ZR2 is going to get a 3-inch lift. And the wheelbase itself has been extended 3.1 inches, which not only helps the truck look a little bit better, it improves your approach angle, your departure angle, and it helps the ride be a little bit more refined on the highway. And then number 3 is the tailgate. GM and their tailgates, man, I swear. But the multi-pro tailgate in the Sierra and the Silverado was actually super cool and really functional, it ended up being. And then you have a really interesting addition here. This comes down, it's damped, it's very nice as you would expect, but you also have a little secret compartment right here. You could put beers, you could put fishing rods, you could put any matter of things back here. It's about 43 inches long, 4 inches deep, and just makes a lot of sense. It's a space that would be otherwise wasted, and now they've gone and made it a practical application. It doesn't exactly lock, so I might not put valuables back here, but it's a really nice use of space. It kind of reminds me of a RAM box without taking up any bedroom. And the next thing that I want to talk about is towing. Now, payload is pretty good, 1,700 pounds, that's nice. But towing capacity maxes out with this 4-cylinder at 7,700 pounds. That is super impressive. And they've gone and torture tested it over 300,000 miles, no problem. Really, really stout engine right here. So if you're worried about towing, you don't need to be. And on top of that, you've got all sorts of cameras to help you hitch up, to help you with backing the trailer and all sorts of stuff. So really, really nice towing suite from the new Colorado. And then we start to talk about the cameras themselves. The resolution is fantastic. It's bright, it's responsive. I have so much detail. I know exactly what's happening, and there's 10 cameras all around the truck. And for your Z71 and your ZR2, you actually have an additional 11th camera under the body, so you can help pick your lines if you're on the trail. And then number 6 is the incoming ZR2 and Desert Boss. We've had the ZR2 for a bunch of years now, and we've even had it in the fully spec'd out DSSV, AEV, diesel-equipped Duramax Colorado in previous years. But with this new chassis, this new generation, there's more finesse, there's more refinement, there's more capability, and it's just an overall better package. So then you start to think like, okay, maybe Toyota will sell more Tacomas, but that's not because the Toyota is a better truck. Definitely not anymore. And the last thing that I'm going to mention is price, and we're going to reference the Tacoma one more time. This Colorado in work truck trim starts just under $30,000. And if you go on to Toyota's website right now, you can find a similarly priced Toyota Tacoma. The difference here is that you're getting so much more at base as standard. You're getting the 8-inch digital instrument cluster. You're getting an 11.3-inch infotainment system. You're getting excellent resolution from your 360 cameras or your reverse cameras. You're getting a lot more truck here for about the same money as you would in a Tacoma. So that's it. That's the best and the rest for the new Chevy Colorado. Overall, I'm super impressed with this truck. It's a great platform. It's got great powertrain. It's got great capabilities of towing and payload. It's got awesome off-road features, and I can't wait to get behind the wheel of the ZR2. Now, seeing as we've gone through all this, we're going to keep all of this in mind as we see the new Tacoma and the new Ranger come out later this year. But I want to take a minute to again thank our outfitters, Blenders and Melin, as well as Pedal Commander. We've got discount codes for all that stuff in the description. But thank you to Chevy for having me out in San Diego so we could take a look at this truck, and we'll hopefully be back with the ZR2. Thanks for watching.